Are you missing out on motivation and are you looking for that pill that you can take to be more motivated? Then this episode is for you.
You're listening to the Dynamic Women podcast. Each week, you'll be inspired by our global community of women. They'll share with you tools and stories to help you be dynamic in every area of life. Here's your host, award-winning coach, and the CEO and founder of Dynamic Women, Diane Rolston.
Hello, lovely dynamic women, and welcome to the Dynamic Women podcast. I am Diane Rolston, your host. And yeah, today, if you want that little pill, I got sad news. There really isn't one. But I'm going to share today the easiest action so that you can be more motivated. I know we can all use that. Key thing is, when I was coaching the other day, I realized that so often people are missing out on motivation. Are you missing out on motivation? Maybe you're looking for that little pill that you can just pop. And when you take it, you're just instantly motivated. Well, bad news, there is no pill. And you know that. You know there isn't, but you're still looking for, where is this motivation? Where can I dig it up? And so I'm going to share today the easiest action to be able to be more motivated, because it's okay that you're looking for that, because you have goals that you want to achieve, right? Let me know what they are. You have processes, habits, systems, things that you want to put in place. You just need a little bit of fuel. My husband jokes, he will be sitting on the couch and I'll have asked him to do something and I'll say, come on, we'll get up. What are you doing? And he says, I need some courage. Really what he means is I'll need some motivation. Now, sadly, sometimes the motivation we turn to it's food, maybe we turn to alcohol, we turn to other things to maybe help us to move forward in the different things that we're wanting to do. But I'm going to share with you an easy thing that you can do that actually doesn't mean that you have to build it in yourself. There are no processes that you have to follow, even though there are a lot of ways that you can build motivation. I talk about that with my clients. I have that in my programs. However, I'm going to give you an easy way where it doesn't have to come from you, because maybe you're at a place in your life right now where you're feeling like, I don't got anything else in me. Like I'm maybe having to motivate everyone else, maybe everyone in your family. Maybe you're motivating workers, employees, your staff. Maybe you're motivating your team members. And so you're depleted. Or maybe you can't have that motivation because there's something else lacking in you, or you're going through a hard time. And I get it. And I've been there. I've been in hard times where I had zero motivation for the things that I love to do, like hiking. And so even if we move away from physical things, because maybe you're like, I'm never motivated to go exercise. But the other things can be, maybe used to be motivated to keep your house clean. Maybe you were motivated to do other things you love, like cook really good meals. And somehow that's fallen off. Why is lack of motivation so hard? I'm going to give you 5 reasons before I give you the solution, okay? The 5 reasons why motivation is so hard is because you just don't want to do it. You don't have a desire to do it. You don't feel like doing it. And when you don't want to do something, it takes so much energy to make it happen. Do you agree? The second reason why motivation is just sometimes so hard is that you miss out on opportunities. So there might be some opportunities coming your way and you see them and then you lack motivation to do the necessary steps, because maybe you have to fill in an application. Maybe you have to go to an interview. Maybe you have to make something or do something, and that just feels really hard. And so you end up missing out on an opportunity because you don't do it, because you didn't have the motivation to get it done. The third thing is you could receive a lower result. So if you're motivated to do something and the motivation is only like a little bit, then you're going to get like a little bit of the results. right? But if you are gung-ho, if you have so much motivation, then you're probably going to not just hit your goal, but probably move beyond it. But if you lack motivation, you might not even get to where you need to be. So you receive a lower result. Number 4, when you're not motivated, you do the crazy, horrible P word. Say it with me. Procrastination. You procrastinate, you put it off, you put it off, you put it off, you put it off, and then it's painful. It's painful every single day that you're not doing the thing that you need to be doing because you're procrastinating on it. And I'll tell you, when these 4 things happen, it brings us to the 5th one, which is the worst part about a lack of motivation, is when you're not motivated and you're not doing things that you want to do or need to do, have to do, whatever you want to say about these activities, is that your confidence fades. When we're not moving forward and we're giving proof to the fact that we're not able to do stuff, then confidence drops. Do you think you're going to be any more motivated with no confidence? No. So it's really important that you keep your motivation high. And there are ways to go about being motivated. There's tapping into your why. There's check-ins on your goals. There's having a coach. There's so many different things, but I wanted it to make it even easier for you, even easier in the way that it doesn't have to come from you and you can get a huge dose of motivation in a very short amount of time. Is that something that you want to have? I hope you say yes. I hope you say yes, because not having motivation is holding you back. And maybe you're thinking, oh, no, Diane, right now I got tons of motivation. Okay, well, maybe you're at 100% motivation, but what would 110% look like? What would be possible at 120% motivation? Or maybe you aren't even at the top level of motivation that you could possibly have that you don't even know. It actually reminds me of a funny story. When I was in Japan, I lived there for 3 years. I was playing ultimate frisbee, kind of just a pickup game with a bunch of friends. There were some of my international friends and some of my local friends, and we were all running around, and I have been quite an athlete in my past. And so at that point, I was in my early 20s. I had played competitive soccer. I played varsity rugby. I was fit. And we were running around. And one of my friends, Keiko, she stopped and she went off. And I was like, what's going on? Like, we need you on the field. Come on, get back on the field. We need you. And it's nothing about the motivation piece. But she said, my heart is going so fast that I think I need to sit down because something's wrong. Well, you see, Keiko is not an athlete. Keiko had never run that hard. She had never played a sport before, other than maybe elementary school. And so she didn't know what that next level of fitness was like. She didn't know what would happen. And so I'm curious for you, if you have motivation, do you even know what's possible at that next level? It could give you that like super boost that you need to reach some of those goals that you don't even dare to speak about because they're so big. They're big dreams that you have, big wishes that you have. And imagine if you were at a higher level of motivation, what would be possible for you? So much would be possible. So I shared the 5 troubles with not having motivation. And now I'm going to give you what I guess could be seen as the little pill, the thing that's outside of you that will help you to have motivation. And this is so, you might be already doing it, but it's the easiest way. It is to get motivation from others. Now, I'm not saying that you sit there and you ask for someone else to motivate you. Instead, you are near it. Right? You are around it. You be surrounded by people who are motivated. You go to events where there are leaders that can teach about things that motivate you. And so part of why I run events is because I know that is an instant just fuel charge of motivation for people. When they leave, they're like, wow, I'm so motivated. That's their exact words. I'm so motivated to go do XYZ. I'm so excited about doing this, which excited and motivated, it can be completely the same because it's that energy to go and do. I'm so inspired to do this thing. Inspired is also another form of motivation because it pushes you. And there's actually 5 things that you can look for. And this is what I do every so often through the year. I look for ways of boosting my own motivation where it doesn't come from me, where I'm not responsible for it. Over the past few years, I haven't been fully myself. Now, when I'm coaching, I feel 150% myself. But in other ways, I feel like I do need motivation. And so I look to where can I go where I can drop myself into a place, almost like a container that I know will motivate me. So here are the 5 things that you want to look for when you're looking for an event, a place to go where you could be motivated. Okay, so here are 5 things. The first, you want to attend events or trainings or webinars or whatever it may be where you're going to learn. Because when we're in that learning state, we grow. When we have that growth mindset, when you learn something new, it could be, boom, the solution. Solutions can motivate us. They can kind of put that energy into us. I know the other day I learned just another cool feature of Facebook groups, and I all of a sudden, like, a surge of energy came through me and I was motivated, and I went to my team and I was like, this is really cool. Check this out. And then they got excited about it. And then they're now going to be putting that into play. So the first thing is make sure it's an event you attend where you can learn. The second is make sure that it's a place where you can be inspired. Now, how do you know that in advance? Well, by looking at the event, you can think, are there different people here? Are there people who are energetic? Someone who I know will maybe share some stories, a place where I trust, value the person, or I see that they have some expertise. So you can be inspired by their story. When you're inspired by their story, that helps you to really step into what you want to do. I can remember I was leading the $1 Million Woman program, the live 2-day boot camp portion. And I was sharing a story about where I started in my business and the first video I did on my business page. And it was quite funny how far I've come and how robotic I seemed then. And one of the ladies pointed and said, that gives me hope. And I said, tell me more. And she says, well, like I see how kind of early stages that video was, and I see you now. And I think, wow, that gives me hope that I can have the same transformation. And so when you're inspired by someone else's story or inspired by how they speak, you have that opportunity to get the motivation coming out of you. So she was then motivated to go and do video and build her business. The third thing is you want to make sure it's an event where you can meet other awesome people. And for me, I look for events where I can meet other awesome women, and not because men are bad, but just because I really connect with women. A lot of them are moms, or we understand the gender issues, right? And so when you can connect with other people, their motivation as well will rub off on you. And that newfound energy in connecting with people, right? When you connect with people, there's this kind of connection, right? This energy that can happen. And by hearing someone else, again, hearing their stories and meeting them, it can really encourage you and motivate you to dive into something that you wanted to do. The fourth thing that you want to make sure that happens at the events that you go to is that you get to share. It's one thing to just sit back and hear someone talk to you, but when you have the opportunity to engage, when you have the opportunity to share, that's integral for motivation, because it's a two-way conversation then. And it's kind of like in an audience, right? If you're home alone and you're watching a movie and you laugh at something, that's great. You laughed at it. But if you have an audience full of people, like how many times have you been at a movie where some people laughed and then it caused like the whole audience to laugh, right? And so if you're hanging out with other people and connecting with people who are motivated or who share something that can cause an emotional reaction in you, and then you connect back and then they have an emotional reaction, that really has you build your motivation. And the last piece, you need to attend an event that's going to stretch you to the point where you want to implement something. Not just some nice fluffy thing that's just like, oh yeah, here's this thing. And if you want to do it, go and do it. No, something that really says, what are you going to do now? What are you committing to? Let us know. In doing that commitment and implementing, you're going to have that motivation of knowing I told other people that I would do this, or of that place of I'm putting this in my calendar to do. So I'm curious, which of these 5 are most important to you? Going to an event where you'll learn, where you'll be inspired, where you'll meet other awesome women, where you get to share and engage as well, and where there's some sort of implementation, commitment to it. Which of those is most important to you? Let me know. So with motivation, you definitely want to have a plan. You want to have a plan to be able to put into place to keep the motivation going. And one tip that I gave, I've given a bunch of my clients this tip: make a video of yourself. A video of yourself in your full motivation, in that place of like, I'm ready to do this. Do a video of yourself talking to yourself. Like, we got this. We're so excited. We're motivated to do this. We're going to achieve this. We're going to do this. Make a little video to yourself. And the moment you have a lack of motivation, watch the video. Watch it. Sometimes we get so separated from our higher selves, so far away that we can't even connect to who we ultimately can be and who we are at our very best. So if you have a video of it, you'll be able to tap back into that, tap into how you felt at that time. And obviously then you got to put stuff in your calendar and make a plan and make it happen. I'm going to kind of just wrap this up here today. Yes, you can have motivation that comes from yourself, that you build from inside of you. There are things that you can put in place to have motivation, to build it up and to maintain it. But if you need a very quick, in the moment, not as was said, a self-directed type of motivation or self-generated motivation, and you're too tired to be able to do that, or you're going through something, go places where there is an opportunity for you to just drop into the motivation. I encourage you to attend one of my events. They're very positive, very inclusive. They definitely will motivate you and get you going towards your goals. Because girl, when you got motivation, you can take on so much more. Now, in the Dynamic Women community and also in my coaching practice, I hold a lot of events. Some there's an investment and some are free. A couple of the events that we run throughout the year are the Women's Business Success Seminar. We actually have one coming up on March 8th. All ladies are welcome, and there are so many amazing benefits to this event. Some of them include how to leverage your time, how to stand out so you attract your ideal clients and get more referrals, the best place to invest your money for a bigger ROI, how to stop being busy and what will make your life easier, how you can afford a team or build a bigger one without hiring employees, and a 3-step process that will guarantee you more success. So if you want to get your business off the ground or start reaching your goals a lot easier and make everything succeed, and leveling up your life, this is the event that you definitely don't want to miss. And feel free to invite some friends. Bring your girlfriends. It is a complimentary event, so make sure that you click the link in the show notes. And hey, if it's past the date, I encourage you to still go click the link, because we do this event a bunch of times throughout the year and you can just register for the next one. The other event that we have coming up is more of a save the date and stay tuned. It's on April 8th and 9th, and it's a 2-day Dynamic Women in Leadership Summit. So stay tuned for that and save the date in your calendar. Thank you so much for listening today. Congratulations on learning how you can get more motivated. I hope to see you at one of our events coming up soon. Make sure you hit subscribe, give us some love with a comment, and write a review if you haven't. Until next time, stay dynamic. Bye.
Thank you, Dynamic Women, for joining us today. Please hop on over to iTunes to subscribe and leave us a review. Who do you know who needs to hear our message? We'd love it if you'd share our channel with your friends and family. If you're ready to be more dynamic, have more balance and more success, head over to www.dynamicwomenclub.com/free gift for your Key to Success book. Stay dynamic.